And fade from black to happy smiling faces. The Amber Falls coasts gently under small sails into the Bay of Kadaf. The city line in the early part of the morning is bristling with both red and black stone buildings that scatter around the entire length of the bay. It's a bit of an overcast, and in the distance, rain can be seen coming in this direction. To the left, port side of the Amber Falls. I got that backwards. No, I didn't. To the left of the Amber Falls, as they're pulling into the bay, or the port side, there is a massive, rounded void ship with a few sails just flapping in the wind. An anchor attaches it to a large wood and iron post on a bit of land that juts out rather close to the castle, if you're opinionated about these people. On one of the more major docks, blue flags can be seen flowing in the wind as the Amber Falls begins tacking with the wind, slowly moving toward its secure bay. Kadaf is shaped from a crescent, and there's a peninsula that juts out into the water. And then decades ago, to make it even a more secure and military location, another bay was dug in and reconstructed so that the Amber Falls, as well as other large vessels, could then move in behind a secured bridge that can be turned into a defendable wall to help protect naval vessels from attack, or at least harbor them for the need for an escape. So it showcases a little bit of the purpose behind Kadaf. Large castle on the hillside with high-rising walls. Well-protected bay. The well-protected naval harbor. As well as there's other things. There is a military training brigade here that teach new and young recruits for both service as a Marine, service as a sailor, or service as militia, or maybe guard duty, or being part of the army. Kadaf's history is embedded in combat. There's money here, but for the most part, Kadaf is known for one of the more defendable cities. As the Amber Falls pulls into the secure port, the bridge begins closing behind it. The bridge operator, somewhat of a familiar man, is making eyes on the blighted vessel that he's letting get into his protector harbor. That same blighted vessel carries with it a curse, or something even worse, because this is the same vessel that destroyed his bridge one day. He's very happy about his bridge. He does his job well, and he believes that it's a bad omen. Or at least that's what he tells everyone.
It may or may not have been my fault.
I mean, I don't know. He may want to not tell too many people that he thinks that Princess Amber's personal ship is a blight on the kingdom.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm pretty sure we can deal with that when we get there. The vessel drifts in, and a series of shoremen begin maneuvering it into location. Hands are all called to the deck to start securing the Amber Falls into its location. No anchor holds this massive vessel in place. What holds it in place is being lashed to the docks and the fact that it runs slightly aground in a sandbar on the western end of the bay. No, I got that backwards. Eastern end of the bay. All hands, get up, grab some lines. Let's get it secure. Master Thomas, seek out the I forgot. Let's do that again. Master Thomas, you hear Arthur calling out. Secure and get ready to unload cargo.
Aye. What cargo do you want me to unload? Just everything?
He gives a nod and says, "We're It's been required by Gaz that there's a bit of work that needs to be done on the Amber Falls while we're gone. So a crew of carpenters are going to come in and do some work with his assist. So we're going to clear out as much as possible. We've rented a warehouse up the road," and he gives a point to a familiar warehouse where you have retrieved cargo from beforehand. You're going to take a group of people and get as much cargo unloaded. Kodrog, Larry, Inu, you're working with Master Thomas to get the cargo out. The longer you take, the longer before you get some R&R. Rest you lot, catch those lines, and he walks away from you at this point in time, Thomas, making dictations. This is actually a job for Maria, so being tossed off to you so quickly coming into port.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it feels nice. It's just, he mentions, like, okay, Kodrog and Gaz and everybody's going to be with you, and Larry, and then Thomas's face just goes... as he says Larry, because he knows it's going to be much longer now. Like, with Kodrog and Gaz, I can work with them just fine and get the stuff, but Larry is going to take his sweet-ass time.
No, not Gaz. Inu, the Phalan.
Sorry, Inu.
Gaz is already off ship by this time. As soon as the ship stops, the sailmaster, Gaz, and the captain depart immediately.
Right.
Oh, great. Oh, sorry. Well, I guess I'm gonna throw my phone on the ground. I think I'm going to... I guess if I gather these people up, if they don't know what they're doing.
I mean, finding Kodrog couldn't be too hard.
You know?
Only on the boat.
Well, and as soon as he started calling out all hands man the lines, he would have been going to do that because that's his job.
Yeah.
So finding Kodrog isn't hard. Let's see about finding Inu. Small, spry guy who likes working the lines. So I'm imagining finding Inu is a rather easy task as well, as he's already moved up and started looking for lines to work with.
So 2 people on lines. And if I look for Larry?
After everything, Larry has started to slowly return back to being Larry.
Mm-hmm.
At least the last few days.
Well, I'm gonna find Kodrog and Inu first, then.
Oh, right. It's quick to find the 2 of them. They themselves are working with winding or rewinding lines that may have become messed up in transport, or moving them from one place to the edge to where they can be used with the docking.
Okay.
Inu and Kodrog are having a small conversation as you approach. Inu's like, "I can't wait. I've got my eye on a bit of jewelry. Maybe even purchase myself a stock of land outside the town. It's going to be a fat haul. I don't know how much, but it's got to be a lot, considering how much work we did and what we found." He turns to see that you're approaching. "Master Thomas."
Inu? Kodrog?
He apologizes. "Oh, that's right. You don't want to be called that, do you?"
No, but I've learned to live with it now.
It's your own fault.
Thanks. According to Arthur, you 2 and Larry are going to be helping me unload all the cargo. Apparently work needs to be done on the ship, and I'm not going to be able to lift all that by myself.
No, yep. Kodrog looks at his hands, looks at Inu, and then looks at Thomas and like wiggles his fingers a little bit. "I'll be glad to cast some magic and help you out."
I'm gonna go find Larry. Make sure you're down below.
Inu will elbow you at that joke.
All right, we'll meet you in the hold.
Thomas just does this gesture as he's walking and walks to find Larry.
All right. Inu looks to you and says, since we're going to be pulling things from the hold, let's go ahead and open the hold hatches and get the cranes in position so we can just shift everything to the center of the boat, pick it up one at a time, and get it out. Once we got that set up, if we're going to take stuff to the warehouse, we're going to need a cart. So I think we should probably go to the warehouse and get a cart too. If you want to do that while I get the crane set up, that way we don't have to wait for Larry, because we know how that's going to work out.
Yeah, Larry will show up just about when we're finished.
He shrugs.
So yeah, I'll head off to shore up to the warehouse to get a cart.
All right. You meander up to a familiar warehouse. For the audience, if you don't know, in our first episode, this warehouse was almost a terrible showdown of epicness as the crew ran across their nemesis, the floating bear.
The bloated bears.
They're called the floating bears.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You make your way through the semi-busy streets of the port and up to the warehouse. The doors are open this early in the morning, and already people are taking out materials or bringing in materials. Carts are lined to the left and right of the doorway, and the master of the warehouse sits nearby. This time, instead of greeting everybody, he's sitting in a chair. As you can see, his leg has pieces of wood on either side of it as it has been splinted. And he sits with a drink at his side, barking and ordering people around with a cane.
Okay. So on my way to the warehouse, I would have been looking like at the surroundings and at the familiar parts of town to see if anything has changed since the Porthians docked. Like, if they've set up a tent shrine or something.
Oh, yeah.
Started begging for pennies yet.
You do see a collection of young ladies dancing in rather nice garb. They've got a hat at their feet, and along with them, they have a group of pigeons or birds. They look like little gray and brown birds, and the birds are going around picking coins out of the hat that's on the ground and dropping it into a sack as they dance and play money. And they use the birds in part of their performance. You pass by a couple of beggars, so because last time you were in port, it was beggar-less, as far as you can tell. You pass by two beggars, not at the same corner of the street and everything, but they're rattling a cup as you pass by. One reaches out to you and is like, "A dwarven brother, help me out. I'm a sellsword on down on my luck, and I need some money. Help a good man purchase a blade."
I'll if you took yourself down by the docks, I'm sure you could easily find some work on the ship. Everyone's looking for line hands.
Oh, I'm more proficient in guardsman and mercenary work, but I just need to buy me a blade. If I could buy one, I could have a job tomorrow.
So yeah, I'm just gonna keep walking. I've given him my advice.
Okay. And yes, it smells prettier. The wind has changed, and so the smell of fish is not sticking around the port. You make it to the warehouse. Do you see anything that kind of sticks out and says, "Oh man, no, nothing." There are more people here. Definitely more people from out of town. So maybe it's the time of year that there are more caravans coming into town.
Okay.
All right. So you get to the warehouse. Warehouse master is sitting in his chair, barking orders as people come in and out.
Uh-oh.
I hit a bunch of rum. Keep going.
So, is he usually the person to go to, or does he have like a clerk that you're like, go see the clerk first, and he just kind of is shouting at everybody from the background?
Generally he's the one who seems to be running the whole show, and that's what it was last time you were here.
Okay. So I'll wave as I approach him, so that he knows I'm not like sneaking up on him.
Okay. He makes a hand gesture to you to come forward. Ornan from the Amber Falls.
Aye.
Ah,
We
there's a horse and cart alongside of the warehouse here. That's already been set aside, and my young boy is going to drive for you.
all right, excellent. Thank you very much.
She gives a nod. It's already been paid for.
Say, what'd you do to your leg?
Got stepped on by a horse.
Goodness, not the one pulling the wagon, I hope.
No, I was out at a show, and I was doing it, and I made a mistake, and she stepped on me. So, at least my job doesn't require me doing a lot of up and down.
Well, here's to a quick heal, and I'll give him a little hat tap nod thing.
He will. He'll nod. Quick heals cost too much.
Not unless you're a wizard.
Yeah.
Oh, I was also probably being a wizard.
I'm so special.
You are. You're very special.
Thomas is funny. He hates when people throw magic in his face, but man, he'll throw it around anytime.
Oh yeah.
All right. You find the young boy. It doesn't take too long, and you find the horse and cart inside a pin. So, the two of you organize everything together and get heading out. When you're leaving town with the boy on the wagon, giving you that slight height advantage as you're standing in the back of it, and getting everything moved around and prepped rope-wise and whatnot that's in the wagon, you can see that from where your vantage point out of the warehouse, over the bridge that takes you onto the other side of the river, at the top of the hill that sits in the background, there are colorful-looking tents, not just like blue tents, but like a collection of like browns, yellows, greens. Like maybe they're pilgrims or a caravan might be here.
Okay. Kind of like a very small version of what the bring ahead of the Iron Homes when they're coming into port,
Yes.
bringing their wares.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
For those who don't really know who these Porthians are they just gypsies? Because that's what it seems like it.
No.
Okay.
Porthians are... So there are several ruling factions in the Isles themselves, and the Republic of Porthian controls a large portion. They are one of the younger nations, as far as it goes, only a few hundred years old, and they have made a lot of conquest in their endeavor to grow and become powerful. There have been a lot of wars, not in this area, around them and contests for territory.
Okay.
So they're not gypsies, they're more pilgrimish. Now, there are gypsies in town. The descriptions I'm giving are of an influx of people. That's so game mechanics, I'm foreshadowing that there are more people in town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're coming from either out of town, from a ship, stuff like that.
Okay. I'm trying to see the bad side of it right now, and there's more people that are on the streets and dancing and stuff. That's and then there's tents, and I'm like, that's very gypsy-like, and
Yes.
I'm cool with that. Go do your own thing, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which is fine.
I haven't seen the bad side because in the beginning it's like, oh, they're here, and it's like, what about them? They're just dancing on the street.
That's right. That's called foreshadowing. Like, why am I supposed to be worried about these guys? They seem nice. Those aren't the people in question.
Yeah, I figured as much. I'm waiting for someone to bump into one person and be like,
Yeah. Do you remember when we were at Spindlehaven and I described there was a church and the dudes outside were in plate mail?
Yes.
That's them.
Okay.
That's the Republic of Porthian. They are. And segue kind of to the game I ran yesterday on my channel. They're kind of like they're very religious, so it's Republican theocracy. Is
I'm getting a very I'm trying to think of a good word and not sound dumb. Because I don't want to say what I'm thinking, because I think it's wrong, but it sounds like basically it's pretty much, you are happy. No, I'm not that. No, you are happy. Like, it sounds stuff like that. It sounds like more controlling. But
Well, you'll have to
we
meet
shall
them then.
Find out.
You'll have to find out. All right. So yeah, you get this. You can see tents on the horizon, tents on top of the hill, and it just seems like there's a lot more people in town in general, which should be good. Which means more people around, more money. More money means you can do more things. Maybe
Yeah.
there's vendors in town who've brought things with them, like weapons or alcohol. Who really knows? So you got that to work with. You get back to the ship, and we're going to slide over to Thomas, as Thomas is wandering around trying to find Larry.
I swear to God, if he's off deck.
If you're happy and you pour and clap your hands. So, you're going to scour the ship. That's a perception check.
Where did I put? They were right here. Oh, I'm an idiot. They're right in front of me. I'm so smart. I'm so smart. Where's perception? I can never find what I'm looking for in my skills.
Is it perception or awareness?
Awareness.
Awareness.
I apologize. Awareness.
That's
Towards the top of the skill column.
I found it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a decent roll. 8 out of 11.
Yeah, you do find him. He is asleep in his bunk.
Isn't everyone's awake?
Yep, Arthur has been running through the place yelling. Somehow, either Arthur is failing at his job, or Larry went back to bed.
No, that's straight up. That's straight up me sleeping in and like a rock, and no one can wake you up until they touch you and or open your door to your room because you think you're gonna get murdered. Yeah, Thomas will kind of snap his fingers and you know, rock Larry a little bit.
Okay. Nothing.
Is he breathing?
Yes.
Okay.
How do you check that, by the way? Stick your fingers up his nose?
No, I
Pinch his
basically.
nose close?
No, I basically. I could.
See you later.
No.
It works well if you just put a pillow over their face, then you can see if they're trying to breathe.
Can you imagine someone coming in and be like, Thomas, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm waking him up.
And
No,
that person goes like, okay, carry on.
Mm-hmm. No, I basically watching their chest at least breathe, rise and fall. But imagine Thomas stares at enough men chests that he would know what that looks like.
Whoa. Yeah.
Heaving manly chests.
After that, I mean, if he doesn't wake up, Thomas, let's see, what kind of spell can I do? I think I want to say we wrote like a create water type of thing. I forgot what it's called though.
You could do that scary razor ice wind to tear his bunk up.
I was just gonna walk over to where the hammock is like tied off and pull it and just have it fall.
That's completely not magical and even just as good, right?
Yeah, I don't really want to use magic. I'll just do that.
Okay. You untie his bunk, it falls to the ground. He shuffles for a minute or two, then sits up against the wall, looks at you, and he's a little red in the cheeks. What? What do you want?
Morning, sunshine. I don't think you've noticed that everyone's on deck working and you're sleeping.
I had last shift before we got into port. I'm tired. This is the part where I sleep.
Well, not according to Arthur. You're helping me move cargo.
Can't you do it without me?
We need all the help we can get.
Fine. Let me go get some food and some coffee, and then I'll help out.
All right, thank you.
All right. So he slowly shifts up until he's on his feet. Starts taking his clothes off, throwing them into a pile, digging around through another pile, looking for some other clothes.
I'm gonna leave him alone. I don't want to see that.
I don't know. I mean, Larry's probably a perfect example of a great physical specimen. He works hard, Lee, and he eats mostly.
Out of all of the men that Thomas secretly checks out on the ship, Larry is not one of them.
All right. When you get back up on top deck,
Yeah.
with Kodrog and Inu, they've got the doors open. You get back up on top deck with Inu. He's got the doors open and a crane ready. He's gone down to the bottom deck, and that's where he's at. So he waves you down and points out Kodrog should be coming back. And he does. Kodrog comes back with a driver and a cart. A lot of other people have got lines together and whatnot. And at this point in time, you guys begin shifting things on the bottom deck to the center bit. Gaz is down on the bottom deck at this point in time, helping out. And, to your advantage, you see exactly what Gaz is interested in fixing. There's water in the bottom of the Amber Falls.
Oh,
And
that's
not a small
no.
amount, a decent amount.
Yeah, and enough to be like, that's not. Mm-mm.
Exactly. So, he starts, and it's in the part of the deck that's meant to be flooded first before it gets to be around your feet. So it's not like, oh man, we're all worried the ship's
Yeah.
It's nothing like that.
It's like
So-
a safety thing.
But that
Right.
doesn't mean he doesn't want to find ways to shore the ship up
Yeah.
at this point in time.
Yeah.
So, you guys begin shifting cargo. About 20 minutes into it, because there's a decent amount of cargo, Arthur yells down into the hold as you guys are raising some stuff up. And Thomas, you're at the bottom. Master Thomas!
Yes. What is it?
I've got 3 more hands that are idle.
Great. Bring him down.
You heard him. Get down there and start moving cargo. And whoever he's talking to walks off, but immediately Nibley comes over the edge of the cargo hold and begins climbing down through the decks that way. Because he's so large, he can be at the top deck and reach to the middle deck and then pull himself from the middle deck to the bottom deck and be with you guys immediately. Nibley
So,
begins... Go ahead.
So while we're shifting cargo around, can I look to see where the damage is and identify what it might be from?
Sure. That would be a carpentry roll or perception, whichever you want to try to use.
I'm gonna definitely go with awareness.
Okay. Awareness. I keep saying perception. I play too much of other games where that's a thing.
That's always perception, yeah.
Did it roll? Where's my chat?
It says
Oh, there
13.
it is. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. 13 on a 14. I beat it by 1.
You beat it by 1. As you're moving cargo, you get Nibley's attention to focus in on these crates right here. Move these first, which are out of order of what probably could be moved, but he's big enough, he hoists them up and shifts them to one side. And in doing so, you find a section of the decking underneath as you're kind of looking where it's at, and there's a flow of water. So you're going to have to pull up some of the baseboards to get in after it. Nibley, of course, picks up this 200-pound crate, holds it up in a pair of his arms, and then, spiderly-like, climbs over and, comes over and drops it next to Thomas, and then slides it into Thomas. Look what I got. This is yours now.
I just imagine sliding it into Thomas, and then Thomas doesn't move, and he's holding, his notebook and writing everything that he needs to write down. And I just imagine Nibley pushing it into him,
Mhm.
you're in my way, type of thing. And Thomas will just simply gesture to the crane in the platform while he takes note of what's being removed and where it's going and what time it was and the date.
Okay.
And then after a while, he actually helps out physically.
Okay. And the two other crew members, one of them is being Dimitri, come down and they begin assisting as well. You stop as you're watching everybody doing stuff and you realize two things. One, Larry's not around.
Yeah.
And two, Kodrog's disappeared.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have left the job to go seek out the problem. I was just like, it's like, oh, while I'm doing this, can I identify what's happened?
Ah, now I understand. And yes, so you didn't leave the job, so you only noticed one thing, and that is Larry has yet to show up. It's not like the work isn't getting done.
Yeah.
It's just not getting done with him. After everything, after what he went through, after, you figure. So
how long has it been?
Do you have a watch on you?
Well, I mean, is the sun beaming down on us right now? It's noon. Okay.
Well, I mean, the sun's you're in the bottom of a boat. There's sunlight.
Well, that's the thing. If it's at the bottom of the boat, and I imagine we're opening up the center of the vessel.
I see what you're saying. No,
the
yeah,
mast,
no,
it has
it's
to be
not.
above us.
It's not. It's not straight noon yet, so it hasn't hours.
So it's still morning-ish. It's like 10 a.m. maybe. Okay.
Sure.
So when did we were told in like the morning,
like
right?
7.
Okay, we've been working for a good 3 hours.
3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4.
Man, that's some serious breakfast right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna call up to Arthur. I know he's busy, but I don't want to stop moving around.
Okay. At a point in time, the crew gets everybody's attention to get Arthur. Arthur walks over to the hold, leans against the post. Aye, Master Thomas. What's your name?
Larry hasn't shown up. He might be in the canteen.
That was a little bit more than an hour and a half ago. He pulls his watch out, clicks with it for a minute or two. Are you telling me he's taking an hour-long breakfast?
Thomas just shrugs. He told me he was going to get up, get ready, eat, and then could be down. He has yet to be down.
All right. I'll deal with it.
Thank you. And he turns around and just starts helping with other boxes.
Okay.
Boxes and barrels.
Boxes and
bags.
barrels and boxes. We're going to fast forward here. This is just a showcase of character and whatnot and activities of normal duties. Most of the ship at some point are helping you guys get cargo out. Other things that are being checked upon. And at some point during this whole event, you, Gaz, and Arthur all get together. And like I said, Maria's already left. Arthur is just like, we're almost done. Gaz says, change your plans. With this is just segueing information. I found the opening. I found what I need to repair. Kodrog's going to be able to help me if he feels like it. So I have some extra hands. I'm assuming that you would have communicated with Gaz during this. We're just kind of speeding up.
Yeah.
And Gaz says, it's going to require a lot more work. I'm going to need to get as much weight off the ship as possible. This includes the cannons. And Arthur's like,
oh, fuck.
Oh, we got to get the cannons off now too? And he's like, I understand. But if we get them off now, it's going to make less weight in the boat. The amount of water coming into the boat will slow down. That's how this works. So you guys have now been delegated for everybody on the ship to do it. Arthur also tells you he found Larry, and he's left Larry to be because Larry's helping the doctor pack.
Oh.
So
Okay.
as long as you're okay with that, he's okay with it, and he's just going to leave it.
He just should have told me. That's fine.
He'll let you take care of that yourself.
Yeah.
So,
oh, god damn it. Okay, lifting cannons. Fantastic.
by the time 2-ish, and for those who have watches, it's right before 2 o'clock, by the time the last selection of cannonballs are being lifted out, gunpowder and whatnot, the warehouse that you guys have been moving to, so it's now moved from 1 cart to 3 carts, and it's a constant endeavor emptying everything out of this boat. It's about 2 o'clock, a lot of effort, some extra laborers came on board to help out, and they're all being shooed off at this point in time. Thank you so much. The boat's empty. Get the hell out. Not everything's being brought out. Your personal effects are not being brought out. It's the heavy things.
Oh, good. So my granite footlocker doesn't have to come out.
No, they're looking
'Cause
for
it's
the
personal
heavy
stuff.
stuff, like 200-pound crates, 500-pound cannons, 75-pound cannonballs. All 30 of them have to come out because
Oh,
that's
good.
that's a
All
lot.
of my smut journals and books aren't out there yet.
Yeah, what's in your personal locker needs to stay there.
Yeah.
Large collection of lines are being brought off. And around 2 o'clock at the point in time, people are being shooed. Arthur's telling everybody, all right, we're done. Come on, everybody back up top deck. Top deck now. Everybody get up here. And everybody begins forming up. And including Larry. Hey, he made it. So everybody starts forming up, and the doctor comes out and sets a hefty leather and steel chest onto a portable table. Pulls the table out, sets the chest down. Arthur sits down with a piece of wood and paper. Looks at the top of the list. We'll be going by seniority and position. And Thomas's last name is
Baron.
Thomas Baron.
Oh, sweet. I'll go first. I thought I was going to be last because of my position.
Now, all the
yeah.
officers, for the most part, are gone. So it's just, at this point in time,
Oh, that's
all their
fair.
assistants. And you, seem, for whatever reason, be the first one. You walk up, he opens the chest, and inside there are bags. He hands you a piece of paper, your receipt.
I'll take it.
He hefts out a coin pouch and drops it into your hand. Payment for work. And he reaches in. He looks at his piece of paper. He reaches in and pulls out 2 other smaller bags and sits there and says, compensation and present from the princess. And so you now have a sizable pouch and 2 smaller coin pouches.
Sweet. I'll nod and return back to the group.
He looks next to the list. He calls for Gaz. Gaz is like, go ahead and save on mine. I have things I need to do. I'm going to get back to work. And he makes notes and nod. Calls out for Fern. Then finally he calls out for Kodrog. Kodrog, what was your last name again?
Strumson.
Kodrog Stromson.
And I dwarf march up to the table.
He reaches, he marks something off, hands you a piece of paper. Your receipt.
Thank you.
Hands you a big bag, just like Thomas got. Fishes in 2 smaller bags, drops them into your hands. This is compensation, and this is a gift from the princess.
Thank you, sir.
He gives a nod. And if you want, no, he says, no, he doesn't. He says, sir, he doesn't give you a coin purse the second time it says it's gift from the princess. He fishes out a brown paper envelope that slightly bulges and says, for you, gift from the princess.
Does
So,
she like you?
everybody gets this moment. It's like, oh, hey, he got something different. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I tucked that envelope deep in my secret coat pocket.
secret coat pockets. Look at that shit. And so, he begins going through the rest of the names. At first, it's mostly the assistants and those people who have major positions, like the doctor and whatnot, who the doctor takes his money immediately, spits all over it, and then sticks it to his chest. And he goes to the business.
I'll never lose it.
No one's going to steal that.
That's true.
And he goes and begins going through the crew. As you guys are all milling about now with your coin purses, he says, once you have your pay, these are your wages, plus the compensation for the work we've done and everything, and the fact that we had some issues and whatnot, you are free to go. Shore leave is for the next 2 weeks, and there will be no crew on board. So as once you have your money, you're dismissed. And he makes a hand gesture to the plank, and then goes back to writing. So Kodrog, this is after you've got your stuff and you've tucked it in your pocket. You look around for a minute, and like Inu's one of them, and he gets just like a coin pouch and compensation in his thing, and he just grabs this piece of receipt and hauls ass for the plank. Like, he's the first one to make it there. He's like, he is fucking gone.
Oh,
Woo!
man. Oh, well, so I have to work out whatever schedule I'm going to be on for helping with the carpentry repairs with Gaz before I leave. But I'm going to take my my gift from the princess down to my bunk and open it in private before I leave the ship.
Sapphires, rubies, diamonds. These to you don't symbolize. These are money. Dwarves barter and a lot of things, but gemstones are prized. This means she knew that she wanted to give something to you that said thank you.
It's personalized.
Exactly.
Aw.
And I just got coin.
Yep.
Nothing magical.
Yeah, so you open the little envelope and look in, and there's about 7. 3 of them are sapphires. We'll say 1 is a diamond, 2 are rubies, and emeralds. The rest 4, the other 2 are emeralds. So 3 sapphires. Did I do that? 3 sapphires, 2 rubies, 1 diamond, and 1 emerald. There we go. Bam.
Excellent. I'm gonna put all of this pay and these gems in my lockbox.
Okay.
Not carry it with me, that's for sure.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Princess Amber's got the hots for Kodrug.
All right.
She just knows. She knows the key to a dwarf's heart is gems.
We're also going to toss out that the sapphires, the ruby, and the emeralds are valuable because those are the colors of your iron home.
Oh, so dude.
Oh,
That's why
hots
we're
for
going to
you.
say that she picked those in particular. The other extra sapphires and diamond are just like, oh, that's really great, but it's blue, red, and green, which are the symbols for your iron home's flag.
nice.
All right. Paige, what
Yes.
is Thomas doing?
I'm getting a shopping list together. So that's what he's doing. He's he stays on the ship for a little bit until he needs to be kicked off or anything, or they need the space. But he's currently like taking out a journal and writing things down. If anybody looks like over his shoulder and anything, it sounds wizardy. The first thing is like, okay, obviously armored jacket, maybe a new jacket. The other things though are just all things. One of them's like thistles, the other is like lavender, and one you think it says crow feathers and pine needle trees, and
Cool.
it's weird.
Okay. I'm here with Acid. I would just figured people look over your shoulder and they just see nudie pictures. You're writing, but it's magically being translated into images of naked people.
That would be very interesting reading. As he gotta pick up some milk. That is not milk. Like let's see. Lavender. I'm all writing this physically.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Do you see how much money you were given?
Yes, definitely.
You were given 120 silver pieces, 5
Hold on.
gold pieces, and a silver necklace that has the image of wings on it on a torch.
Does that look familiar to me?
It's the symbol of hope, the goddess of hope, one of the deities. You don't know the significance to it. You know of the deity itself. She's widely revered by a lot of priests who do lots of healing. But it's a really nice necklace.
Cool.
And
I
it's
shall put that in
mostly
inventory.
silver. Yeah, it's probably we'll just say it's all silver.
It doesn't mean anything personally to Thomas, I don't think.
No.
But it's pretty looking. Thanks.
Mhm.
Let's see. Sorry, I have a lot of ingredients that I need to.
Okay. So you're making your last Kodrog. You get your stuff stored in the lockbox. You want to make your way down to the bottom of the boat?
Oh yeah, because I'm getting started right away. Am I?
You don't know.
No. Yeah. I'll head down to the bottom of the boat because Gaz is there, right?
Yep.
Probably going over, making a plan.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll
You
go
get
meet.
down there, and because the deck's now open, because you guys moved all the cargo out, there's a section of the decking down here. Now, of course, let's talk about the Void Ship. The floor that you're standing on now is a floor on aisle. Above your head is the ceiling. Both of them have grindstones on them because when you're out in the void, there is no down. He's removed the grindstones, pried them off, put them off to the side, and then he's pried up as much as the boards that he can. And those that were not easy to get up, he either took them off some part way that he can put a new board in, or he just took a hatchet to it. And so now there is an opening in the bottom of the boat, and as you come in, he is on the edge of the deck. He's got a pot burning with some smolder in it, and there's a smaller pot inside of it, and you can see like tar smoke coming up. And he's shirtless, and he's like jabbing his fingers in, and he's got a big old piece of cork nearby that he's ripping pieces off. He's dipping it into the tar, and then he's shoving it down in there. And as you see him lean forward, his hand right past the bottom of the deck plunges into water that you can hear, which tells you that's just a little bit deeper than you thought it might have been a little while ago. Approaching, you can see that maybe an inch or two below the actual bottom deck of the boat, there's water. The ship has taken on quite a decent amount.
Oh man.
You walk over, and he sees you, and he's like, "Oh, good. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you beforehand, and announcing in that way was the only way I could get it to go." He rips off a piece of cork, and he starts rubbing it in. We hit something hard enough that he starts, you can kind of make out through the water itself where he's jabbing the cork in.
Okay. Wow. I don't recall internal monologuing any like big jolts to the ship or anything. Like we didn't hit anything while we were scooping up the jellies or anything like that, right?
Maybe. The ship
Maybe.
did shake quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay. And I guess that would be a lot of force anyways, so maybe it's just like the hull twisted or something and cracked. Okay.
Twisted, cracked, got hit, same time.
Would there be some kind of pump technology that would let us drain water so that we could get to the damage faster?
Once it's sealed, yeah, that's called buckets.
Oh, okay. So, but there's no like like lever pump action.
Maybe back home.
Well,
not something that you educated yourself on.
Okay. Well, how can I help?
He's like, I believe this is the only hole. If you can look around to make sure, because we might have been hit more than one time, help check. We're all underwater right now, so you're just looking for below us. Unless you see it coming out through the walls, right now this should be beneath these boards.
Okay. I think that I might check from the outside.
You can do that? I'm a terrible swimmer.
Hold on, let me check my character sheet. How do you swim?
Athletics.
Oh, good. when there's no number, that means I probably shouldn't try it, right?
That's correct. Did you spend all your character starting skills that we had? Did you fill them all in?
I think so.
Okay, then yeah, you could swim, and it's just going to be hilarious. I mean, maybe somebody in a crew can swim.
Yeah, but everybody's just been released to the wild.
Yes, they have. I mean, they're
Thomas
being
is still
released
on the
as
ship.
we speak. You might be lucky to catch the last person. God help us if that's Larry.
No, Larry's out. Like once everybody got shore leave, he's out of there.
You know what? I'm going to just tie a line. Like I'm gonna go up to the deck, tie a line to myself, and use like a couple of like pick hammers to like pull myself down the hull underwater.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to swim. I'm just holding my breath.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Not a problem at all. All right,
No.
boom. We're gonna say you've got some pick hammers, and you got a rope tied to you. Hell, we even say you got a chunk of cork, and you tied that to you too, so it's got a length of rope, so that you have something floating, so you know which way is up. You know, we can do that too.
Nice.
You
Yeah.
take some time to prep because he's trying to find holes and jab them full of tar-covered cork anyways at this point in
Yep.
time, and he's trying to push it back. And so by getting out under the boat, you have a better opportunity. All right, so you don't have athletic swimming, so it defaults automatically to being a 7. Or sorry, less than 7, 6 or less. This is for graceful acrobatic or aquanautics, right? So you're not going to succeed that, but what you want to do is not get greater than a 9. 9 and less is going to mean you don't kill yourself, like getting the rope wrapped around your throat and drown.
That would be a way to go.
10.
10.
Oh, this is terrible. All right. You dive into the water with your picks, and you begin climbing along the underside of the boat.
Yep.
As you do so, let's do a perception check, at least see if you're successful before you die, of seeing the damage.
Okay, excellent.
Awareness.
12 on a 14.
All right. So as you pick your way down and you're pulling yourself down the boat, the cork's pulling you back, the rope's tied onto you, you're doing a pretty good job. You get to the underneath, and you can see on the back end of the boat where it looks like something impacted at least twice down the length of the boat. And yeah, you can see at least 2 spots that look pretty bad. Not that you can see gas poking stuff through it or anything, but you can definitely see that these might be spots that look bad.
Okay.
While you're down there, something grabs a hold of your rope and starts pulling on it and pulling. And so your waist is grabbed, and then the rope is, because it's drifting around you, has tangled into your arms and around your body.
Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna try and get one of my daggers out
Okay.
and cut myself free from the rope.
Right. Use your melee skill to start cutting yourself free. You can see that what's caught is the fact that the cork float has gone underneath the dock and has wrapped around one of the pier. Forgot what they're called now.
Pylons?
Pylons, the pier pylon, and is trying to go out to sea, and that's what's pulling away from you.
Nice. Well, I got 7, beating a 14
All right.
by a whole lot.
You pull out your knife. You struggle for a moment or two. It takes you're able to cut that one free, and so now instead of having any up, you have all down, and so you drift a little bit because you're a dwarf, you're heavy.
Can I keep a hold of the rope as I cut it so that I don't drift to the bottom with my
Yes, you can.
belly full of rocks? Okay.
Yeah. All right. We'll say you've got a hold of that, but you had to put your knife back in and grab a hold of it pretty quickly. So now you're kind of struggling. You're going out one arm free. Your breath is running out, so make me a toughness check.
Oh yay! Toughness, where are you? Oh, here it is. Okay.
And it should be 8 plus whatever your toughness score is.
Oh my gosh. I breathe in.
Yeah. In the whole ramifications, you struggle and you can't. You have to start swimming up. Now you have to roll at least a 9 or less to get to the top of the water. Otherwise, it's time to start making a new Kodrog.
Oh my god.
13.
There we go.
All right.
Kodrog drowns, trying to save.
You are trying to fight with all of this tentacles of line and whatnot.
Anyone watching this?
Yes, somebody is watching this. Not you, though. I mean, you're...
Well,
Later.
yeah, but like, wouldn't they just see this and be like, "Oh yeah, he's struggling"?
I'm not going to kill you off that easily, though. It's fun. This is entertaining.
I mean, I think I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
You
I'm
struggle
dying.
for a moment or two as you begin trying to fight your way up. You realize that this is so out of your league. You thought this would be easier. People make it look easy. And then Dimitri swims up to you and he grabs a hold of you. He's got his pants on and he begins dragging you backwards. And he swims quickly to the surface of one of the pylons and he pulls you up as you're choking, and he just presses you against the pylon. He's like, "Hold on."
Yeah, I'll hold on
All right.
to the pylon, not to him, because
Right.
I don't want to drown him.
He reaches up
Lifesaver.
because he's a tall, gangly human. He reaches up, grabs the edge of the pier, and pulls himself up, and then rolls over and reaches his hand down to grab a hold of you.
Yep, I'll reach up and grab his hand as hard as I can.
With effort, he hoists you onto the pier and flops you out like a fish.
Yeah. Oh man, I vomit water over the side of the pier.
Nice.
Yep. I'm just gonna heave there for a little bit.
Dimitri says nothing else. He stands up, gives you a pat, starts walking walking away. Walks over to a thing, picks his shirt up, puts it back on and buttoning it.
Can I see this?
Yeah, you see Kodrog. Oh, is that what you wanted to see?
No.
You watch Dimitri put his shirt back on slowly to the sounds of Kodrog dry heaving over the side of the dock. Sorry, wet and dry heaving.
Okay, there we go. There we go. That's exactly what happens.
Well, I mean, like, obviously, Thomas would perk up just at the, like, I would imagine that at least at the top, there's like a communication or something, and then immediately Dimitri takes off his shirt and dives into the water.
Someone yells,
So,
"Man overboard! Man overboard!" And then Dimitri just
dives in like a hero.
he's on the dock. He whips his shirt off, dropping everything there on the ground. Just everything, and he just dives into the water. Fern, who's nearby, immediately walks over and stands near his stuff. Believe it or not, the little Spitfire doesn't like to get into the water either for personal reasons.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would just yelling "man overboard" would catch his attention. But once he sees Kodrog up and Dimitri up, he kind of just turns back to his stuff after checking out Dimitri.
Of course.
Just looking over him and then looking back at his shopping list.
Sure. Dimitri is a decent example of a skinny, tall human.
Yep.
He was really long hair. It goes well past his waist, and it's all braided.
Yeah, he was the first choice for Thomas, and then Thomas fell in love with Jason.
That happens.
Settled for the captain.
Yeah. I mean, you always aim high.
Thomas is gonna put his shopping list in his pocket and walk on over and ask if they need assistance.
Well, Dimitri didn't hang around for too long. Neither did Fern. Fern's probably hung around. Now she's leaning over you and she's pressing on your back and then stops. And then she presses on your back. Because this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I'm good now. No, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. I start wringing out my beard.
She'll pat you on your back. Make some sign gestures.
And I'll do the, yeah, thumbs up, everything's good. Everyone knows what that means.
Shakes her head at you. As she turns and as Fern sees that you're giving a thumbs up, she will be walking away. As you're approaching Kodrog to see what's going on, Fern signs to you. He's a fucking idiot. What was he thinking?
I would like to say Thomas knows sign language, but he doesn't.
Yeah, so you're
So
just
he
like staring at her
He
going,
just looks at her and he goes, "Yep, mm-hmm," and he just walks forward. And he looks at Kodrog and he kind of like puts his hands on his hips almost, and he goes, "You know, you're supposed to swim in the water, not chug it."
Well, it was my first time trying it, and the sailor who told me the story about how for him made it sound a lot easier than it ended up being.
I'm glad you're okay. Do you need help with this at all?
No, I have to go report to Gaz where the main damage is. So, stick around if you want to get your hands dirty.
Well, I mean, I could. I believe I know a spell that could help you breathe underwater. I just have to find it.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess that would have been helpful, but I'm not going back down there.
I also have spells that can drain water, so...
Oh. That I think would be useful. You should come along.
I know that the captain doesn't want magic to solve everything on his ship, but I think this is important.
Yeah, like if we can get this fixed without being hauling it up on shore and putting it in dry dock for weeks, I think the captain would be happy.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, come on this way, and I'll wring out my hair and like bring out my shirt and stuff while we're walking.
You guys make it back to the bottom deck. Gaz is there. He's now currently like walking around looking under the decking as much as he can.
Yeah, I will not mention how disastrous my excursion was, but point out kind of like under the deck where I think the major damage was.
Okay. He will begin staring at it, and with your help, he is able to pinpoint there's another opening, and immediately begins to tear out the boarding.
Yeah, I'll grab a crowbar and help him out.
All right, he hands Thomas a hatchet.
What am I doing with this?
We're tearing up the boarding.
Okay.
There's a leak. We need to close it. If you're here, I'm going to put you to work.
That's fine. I was just more hoping that I could help you out magically, but
Well, if you can magic that hatchet to cut up the boards, that would be great. He begins prying with the help of Kodrog at some of the boards.
Yeah, Thomas, before he goes down, he takes off his jacket and folds it up so he doesn't get that wet, and goes down and starts assisting them.
Manual labor. By the time dinner runs around, Cookie comes down with some food on trays and sets it for you guys, as you guys have been corking and smelling burning tar, and I'm sure you magicked some of the water away. It was really great that, when you first started whipping the spell out, it was, look at this, and wow, and the rest of the water kind of starts rushing in quickly. So yeah, you three are down here in the bottom of the ship. It's hot, it's sweaty, it's pretty fun manual labor by the time Cookie comes down, and she walks in and goes, "Oh my God, it's like a dream."
Seeing all these shirtless men.
Yeah. Sweaty.
And I've been singing dwarven work songs.
Oh, hell yes.
About mining jewels and things of that nature.
Nice. She comes in. "I knew you guys were all working hard, but I brought you some food. I'm going to put the food down. I'm going to sit on the steps and watch you now."
Thomas is gonna get food.
Okay. She's made
Yeah.
biscuits and honey, and then some fried mushroom caps.
Oh. Yes.
That's just all finger food. So while you guys sit there, eat or work, she's like, "So did you find the hole? Are you plugging it? What happened over there?" And so she begins engaging you guys in conversation.
Sorry, I just damn my brain.
No, let it out. Let it out.
No, she basically she's like, "Oh, did you find the hole? Are you gonna plug it?" And Thomas just goes, "Yeah, you'd like that." Now he's eating.
Kodrog, awareness roll.
Oh no. Missed it. 15 for 14. So.
Aww.
Gaz heard it. Cookie did not. Gaz is like.
Thomas just gives Cookie like a mouthful of food smile type of thing, without showing his teeth, and he goes back to work after a couple of minutes.
After the deckings tore up on the tar-covered cork has been jabbed into the hole, magic is used to clear the way and begin checking for other leaks. Whatever the object was that hit it, hit in at least 5 different spots along this side. 2 major holes and a lot of small holes.
Does it look like... Sorry. Does it look like it was the whale, or like...
You have no idea.
Okay.
But it's whatever. You haven't been on Isle, so this happens, as Gaz will tell you. You hit stuff out there, and luckily it wasn't a larger hole. They were smaller holes, and this is fixable. But by the time you guys are finished, the sun has gone down. The moon has come up, and now the city is at its nighttime fiesta. You can hear plenty of stuff going on outside. Cookie has brought more food down for you guys, as well as hot mead. So you have something to drink as you work. And she's made sure to keep you guys company as much as possible. When it got too dark to see, she brought down lanterns so you guys can see.
Of course she did.
Yeah,
that romantic lighting.
Romantic lighting.
She is being helpful, though.
She is.
She's
got her own objectives, and you sometimes can feed into them.
I mean, you haven't seen anything until you've seen a sweaty dwarf work by the oil lamp light.
I bet it would be odd too, because Thomas is doing manual labor and he's also probably shirtless and throwing around spells, which normally he's in his getup.
Yeah, right. So it's like as soon as he's got some. Gaz has some stuff down. He's like, I need to add some more to this. And you immediately snap your fingers and throw a bit of fire. The whole tar catches on fire. And then he waits for a minute and begins jabbing more cork and loam up into it. So he's, working together as an industrial team using magic to your advantage. At some point, Gaz will make the comment. He's like, I wish the captain would let you do this more often. This is going so much faster.
Yeah. Yeah, Thomas just kind of nods and goes, well, I'm glad to help out. And I want to look at the moon. What is it? Is it a full moon?
It is a full moon.
Damn it. Thomas just kind of, he looks up and he kind of sees, like, the reflection on the water that ripples around, and it makes that beautiful water silhouette on the inside of the ship. And he just kind of curses in Marseillan under his breath. And he just kind of looks around and goes, how much longer are we going to be?
He's like, we're done.
Oh, sweet. Well, wear ships and wear trucks.
I knew we'd go there as soon as we mentioned the moon.
Only in Lycania are there wearships.
And Cookie's singing, when the moon hits your eye, it's a big piece of pie. That's more.
Oh, Cookie.
It's an old Marseillan song.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a beautiful woman.
All right, so Yeah, Gaz is like, we're done. We're done. We've got more work. We need to let this cool, and we can come back. I can come back tomorrow and see where it's at. He turns and begins He shakes your hands. Where, if there's more work to be done, will you make yourselves available while we are on port?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Yeah. I'll make sure that the princess knows that you're doing work, and therefore you can get paid for it.
Thank you, sir.
Do
we have permission to stay on board tonight?
No. Actually, Arthur's said no one's to stay on board. Sorry, you'll have to. He comes straight, but Arthur's probably also gone. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just gather some things from my
nod. He'll grab his things from the below deck as well as he's just going to leave his tools here. Shirtless, he walks over to Cookie, who's sitting there smiling at all of y'all. She's got her hands between her legs, and she's just watching. So he walks up and says, "Come on, Cookie. Let's go get a late night meal someplace. I'll buy." And she goes, "Oh, that's so romantic."
Cookie is like my favorite character.
So Gaz and Cookie meander up the stairs, leaving Kodrog and Thomas to gather their things.
Yeah, Thomas, he doesn't take much. He dresses himself again, pulls on his jacket, stuffs his hat into his satchel type of thing, takes a book or something, and that's pretty much it. He'll wait for Kodrog, he'll walk out with him type of thing, as best friends do.
Okay. As you are getting to the top deck, the plank is still there, and on ship there is 2 men in field armor. One standing there by the plank, another one sits nearby, and he's just watching the pathway. These are royal guards, probably from the princess. Ship was to be empty. These guys are staying watch. Because, somebody might come on and try to sabotage it or do something.
Yeah.
These might be her personal retinue.
Okay. Well, seeing as how there's guards on the ship, I don't want to be caught here in the middle of the night and be thought as some kind of intruder.
Saboteur.
Yeah. Cause any undue alarms.
Wee you. As Thomas is walking out with Kodrog, he just kind of gestures to Kodrog. "So what are you doing tonight?"
Well, I was gonna have a quiet night in my bunk, but I guess I'll have to find somewhere on shore. What were your plans?
Nothing much. I just needed to go shopping and do one thing before it gets too late in the night.
Oh. Well, is this a private one thing, or would you like some company?
Well, if you can handle spooky magic, I wouldn't mind it.
Ooh, spooky
magic.
Yeah,
well, a lot of people would see it as spooky.
Yeah, let me put on some dry clothes, gather some things. We'll go be
Thomas,
spooky
do you want to
together.
fix his dry clothes problem? Because you can. You
blast me with a fireball.
It's the remove water spell. How do you think Thomas always has dry hair? It's magical.
Maybe he's born with it.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
That was last night. So much. All right, so Kodrog, you gather your things, get some dry clothes on. One of the guards will ask Thomas, are you tending to stay on the boat? Because they were told no one's to be on the boat.
No, sir.
Okay. Then he'll say, "Aren't you Master Thomas?"
I am.
I thought all wizards wore pointed hats.
Thomas He just kind of rolls his eyes, and he goes into his satchel, and he pulls it out. He goes, yeah, I do. I just don't wear it all the time. It's fighting me right now.
Thomas only wears the hat when he needs to swing his weight around.
Yeah, exactly. So they get one more question in before Kodrak comes back. They say, do you see the world like everybody else? Or do you see,
Is he
like,
asking
weird?
Me?
Yeah, he's asking you.
Oh.
This guy's interested. He's never met a wizard before.
Yeah, Thomas kind of... What, you think that we see it in a different color or something?
Yeah.
We don't. Unless we have something magically active, we don't. Everything's normal to us. There are a few things that you can't see that we can, but that's just when something's magical. Say an enchantment or whatever.
He'll kind of nod. How long have you been a wizard? By this time, Kodrog's showing up.
Since I was born.
Oh, you're born a wizard.
I was born with magic. My blood it comes from a long bloodline of it.
Can you drink a wizard's blood and get healed?
No, that's not how that works.
Yeah, at this point it's coming when I slapped Thomas on the shoulder and was like, well, shall we go ashore?
Yeah, thank you.
Save me! Save me! This is getting weird.
Can you drink a wizard's blood?
Yeah, you can drink a wizard's blood. It's not going to do you any good, though.
Yeah.
In all honesty, though, it's a bit more archaic kind of point of view. You have to forgive them. They don't know, and that's just a concept that they think that you drink blood and you can get better. Like, it's the belief that you can leech yourself and you'll get better. The doctor leeches a lot, and they kind of help. But drinking blood is one of those things that people believe in. Drink blood.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
the
get
same
better.
thing with like if they eat a certain animal raw, they get like the ability or
Yeah, exactly. Like the strength from it, and you got to eat its heart.
Yeah.
You got to drink from the skulls of your enemies that you have slain.
Man, if I was a weird barbarian.
Standard barbarian. Let's be real.
You guys go to shore. The city of Kadaf is large. It's divided up into lots of burbs. Tell me what kind of burb you're looking for. You want to go slumming it, lower end of town where there's people who most likely cut your throat and take your money?
My kind of people. No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, maybe for the spooky magic part.
No.
I don't know if it requires a human sacrifice.
No, it doesn't. It requires my blood, though. Wherever, I mean, I would imagine Thomas knows, but he would go into a high-end part of town. But wherever someone sells lots of magical ingredients.
A reputable
You're
salesperson.
talking about the Silver Flounder Circus. It's a part of the city that is rather built up. You see, there's been a lot of development and revitalization over the many decades that the city has been around. And at some point, people built on top of things to be built on. As people were allowed to build houses, they built houses, and then they built houses out and wider because there was no rule saying you couldn't. And so they built out houses wider above that, and so houses started connecting. And the Silver Flounder Circus is a rather interesting marketplace. Most of the buildings at the bottom are filled with shops where you can find quite a number of oddities. Like, you're looking for a preserved squirrel that has a particular color fur. You're looking for a taxidermist who can do a squirrel in this color. I'm pretty sure you'll find it there.
Sweet.
None of the more smellier professions are in town. So if you're looking for a tanner or a leather worker or one of those professions that have a smell orientated around them, they're going to be out of town on the other side of the cliff. I want to describe to you what the bay looks like. So let's start off by saying, imagine the coastline is a straight line. Now imagine a short distance in the coastline, there's a cliff wall. Now take, and where that cliff wall and the line is, the line represents the edge of the beach and the rest of it is water. Dig out the bay and make a peninsula of sand. So you have a peninsula of sand and take and flatten out most of that cliff wall. And then make another bay. So that's kind of what the aerial view of Kadaf looks like. So for the most part of Kadaf, from the bay going inland, it's a nice straight shot in. But if you go north toward the castle, there's a cliff wall because the castle's up on it because it's defendable. And if you go south, there's another cliff wall. So over the centuries the city has been here, they've slowly taken the cliff and gotten rid of it. Now it's just a nice flush city. The winds come in from the bay all the way into the plains that are on the other side of the cliff. The circus is not the center of town, but it is pretty close to the bay and toward the direction of the castle on the northern end. That's my pitch out to you to say this is the place you're going to find magical components. This is also the place you're going to find magical components at like 8 o'clock at night.
Cool.
Yeah, we need a 24-hour magic shop.
Yeah, pretty much. I also want to find a leather worker or something to see if I can get my current jacket armored, because I don't want to buy a new one.
Okay. So is that where you're heading? That's like my first go-to. That's going to be, otherwise you have to wait for the sun to come up. And
No, I'll go there. That's
then
fine.
there is other place. Okay, well then I will not worry about the rest of the places that probably aren't open. How do you want to get to the Silver Flounder Circus? You can either walk or catch a ride.
How far is it from the ship?
15, 20 minutes on foot, but you're going to be going through. You're going to be going through the part of the waterfront called Sand Point, and you can bypass that on the King's Highway. But the King's Highway is all carts, very few people. This late at night, you might get harassed, but you also avoid the shadier side of town.
That's fine. I mean, we can walk unless Kodrog wants to ride something.
No, I'm perfectly happy stretching my legs.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been in a ship for so long too, so it might feel good just to walk on land.
You get on the King's Highway and start heading north. It's actually pretty desolate. There's at least a cart in sight every minute, and as well as pedestrians. You come across two very young lovers who are on the King's Bridge overlooking the bay. They are in a nice embrace, and they're dressed pleasantly, and they have armed guards with them. Two of them who are hanging back watching their little escapade. The guards themselves are wearing markings from different houses, so it might be like a mutual family that said, hey, yes, you two can go on a date, but you're taking chaperones.
But Mom, I want to be alone. I'm already 13.
Wah, wah.
And with that, we move on. A couple of horses, carts, and whatnot. A gentleman comes riding up next to the two of you and said, do you need a ride? Take you wherever you want.
Thank you.
All right. He rides off, and you can see that he's driving a nice stately little two-seater cart, and he's carriage driver, two-seater carriage, and it says Uber on the side of the carriage.
But they had water and mints in the back.
I bet they do. The walk down the King's Highway takes you in front of one of the old forts and its palisade, past Sandpoint, and the palisade of everything around here. There's two colors of stone. There's the red sand from the beaches and some of the plains, and then there's the cliffs, which are all black stone. Not like pitch black, but like dark gray, and it's just referred to as black. The palisade, on the other hand, is made of... John, help me out. What is St. Augustine made out of?
Oh, coquina.
Coquina. Pink coquina or pressed shells that were dragged up from the southern coast up to here to make it a near impenetrable fort right here that accesses the river. So coming up and down the river, if somebody tried to get in or out, there's this impenetrable fortress right here. The king is very proud of his pink fortress. On top of it, there are 12 batteries pointing inland and 12 batteries pointing out to sea.
I want a pink fortress.
So does the princess, but Daddy already said no.
Oh.
Finally, you get to a point where the road splits and takes you off of the King's Highway and into a side street. There's a couple of buildings on this end. They're 1-2 stories, mostly whitewashed. This late at night, they have fences surrounding them. You see there's a dog and one barking at you guys. This dog is super happy to bark at you. He's up against the fence, all excited. But beyond the barking dog and these few houses, the road comes together. Not in an archway, but in like Tetris-style connection. And they meet over the roadway. The buildings are about 3, with only a few being 4 stories for the most part. And you're looking in to the Silver Flounder. Now, the circus is lit, even on the street level. And there are openings between the buildings. The buildings are connected by bridges and supported walkways. So right now, you're on ground level. Ground level, there's a lot of shops. As you guys move past this, the dog is eager to get your attention, jumping at the fence, wants you to let it out. Sign says, beware of dog. The dog looks so friendly, though. You want to snuggle him in your face and whatnot. You get into the Silver Flounder, and a barker immediately yells at you from his store. Lamps and oil. You two there, you're walking in the dark. Come get some lamps and oil.
Walking in the dark.
Exactly. He's got to have a pitch. You got to have something to work with, right?
I mean, yeah.
Jewelry stores, a watchmaker. You see simple cobblers and whatnot sitting out this late at night by the street light, tacking away. The street lights are maintained by the city, so these guys look at this as free electricity. So they're just going to, I'm going to sit out here and work.
Oh, yeah.
So they're tacking away the little anvils. You can even hear tinging noises of like a tinsmith or silversmith working late at night. The circus is about 12 different streets that all crisscross and point in different directions. And in here, there's supposed to be over 100 merchants just on the first floor alone.
Nice.
Then you have the second floor of most of these buildings, which are their homes, or maybe another shop. And then the third floor is a completely different collection of wealthy individuals. And so wealthy people will come here, and they'll immediately go in. And there's like little walkways. You can see the stairs that take you all the way up to the top floor. So you guys don't have to stay on the bottom floor and do your shopping. Now these, by the way, just want to point this out. There are 12 main streets. There are at least 24 or maybe 36 side streets, and they still have the same kind of overlapping effect. Don't go down the side streets. Not because there might be criminals in there, but because the toilets lean over the side streets. And that stuff washes into the sewers. Not into the main street, but into sewers. And so that's where that, because there's no indoor plumbing in here. The indoor plumbing, if you're looking for something like that, that's in another part of the city. It's a more newer part of the city, so we won't go there. Shit rolls down the alleyways.
Yum. Well, Thomas, do you know which shop you're looking for?
I believe I do. And I would imagine Thomas is. This probably isn't his first time being here. For reasons.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The name of a reagent vendor.
Okay. So you said you've shopped here before.
Yeah, I would imagine he has.
Okay. Let's see if chat can provide with us a name
Marks and sparks.
Marcane, Marks and Sparks. I'm going to write that down. That's unique. And chat, please feel free to provide at least one or two more. I would greatly appreciate it because I'm assuming that there's at least some competition.
I mean, hey, keep going until we're like, hey, shut up. you know? We could always use those names for other places.
We can, and I can write down pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead.
Plus, if we're making a universe, we're going to need a lot of shops. Yeah, so Thomas is leading Kodrog through these, through the streets and stuff like that. And Thomas leads Kodrog to, I don't know, this little shop. Do you want me to describe it?
Keep going, I haven't stopped you yet.
So, all right, cool. He leads him to this little shop that seems very dim looking inside, but it glows like a faint orange and purplish. Occasionally there's like bursts of color. Obviously someone's doing something inside to make color like burst, whether it be magic or just lighting effects. And the door is open. It's propped open by a statued cat. This black, like, granite-ish cat with one emerald eye, and the other one's shut. And it has 3 eyes, and one's open. The left one's open, and the third one's on its forehead. And inside, it looks as anyone would imagine cliche, like, druids or wizards or witches would do. It's, it kind of... To us, it looks like a hippie store. It has like incense and it has, cloaks and stuff.
The dude who's there is wearing a cloak, big hood, holds on either side. He's got embroider on either side. He's got a sizable gray beard. It's all puffed out. He's got dwarven clasps in it.
Ooh. And there's this just a wall, and like in the back there's just walls of jars and drawers that are all labeled, and Thomas beelines towards that area, and that's pretty much just where he gets all his ingredients. He stops once in a while looking at like crystal balls and other magical other items that piques his interest, even like old tomes and whatnot. But yeah, he looks at he just goes straight to the ingredients, and he grabs what is on my jacket? A bundle of thistles, a jar of honey, a bundle of lavender, a bundle of crow feathers, a jar of pash from an old pine, and a bundle of lilies, and of course chalk.
Okay. All these things are there. The gentleman, of course, doesn't seem to pay attention to Thomas as he shoots by. Instead, he stops what he's doing, organizing the bins, and turns to face Kodrog. Hello, brother. Welcome. Can I help you find something?
No, I am here with my compatriot. I will keep my hands off of everything.
If you're interested in finding anything, just ask. I'm more than happy to. Thomas, on the other hand, has been here quite often. I have no need to help him. And he returns to his paperwork and picking through things.
Yeah. So, like, I'm gonna look at anything that looks particularly weird and probably lean in close to sniff it.
Okay, you find...
But always with my hands behind my back, because I don't want to accidentally touch something and, like, set something off.
You find a basket of what looks to be dried, long berries.
Okay, yeah. I lean in and get a big whiff of them.
They have no smell.
Oh.
Do I know what they are?
Yes, you do. Do you want to stop him and let him know, or do you want Marcane to offer him one? Because Marcane offers freebies all the time.
I think he's just gonna watch curiously.
Okay. The gentleman walks over and he, knowing that dwarves like physical contact, and so he puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "Go ahead, try just one."
Thomas just stands
Okay.
there with like all of his stuff in his arms, just watching.
So I'll very gently pull just one out.
It's a long
And
berry,
like,
about an inch in length, and it has a fire red color to it. It's dried, and it looks like even the insides are dried, and a bit of a stem still attached to it.
okay. So yeah, I guess I would have picked it up by the stem, and so I'll just pop the berry in my mouth and pull it off the stem.
Okay, it has kind of like no taste. It's a bit oily, and oh my fucking god, your mouth is on fire. This hurts. Oh. What do you want to do?
I reach for my flask
Okay.
and I take a swig of rum
All
and
right.
slosh it all around in my mouth.
That'll help.
A total different type of burning. But even after the rum has passed and you've swallowed and the berry is now in your guts, you can still feel it in your mouth. It is like a ghostly memory of a fire that you did not ask for.
Yeah. So I mime like breathing fire, like
Yeah.
Am I a dragon now?
You gotta laugh.
It's so hot.
This is one of the important ingredients for Dragon's Breath potion.
Well,
He fingers the basket off to one side, and on the underside there's a smaller basket or collection of white berries, and he says, "These are hotter. I do not offer these to anyone. Would you like to buy some?"
Thomas kind of looks at Kodrog and goes, you could always prank someone on the ship and put that in their soup. That melts very easily.
The man
It's
will
also
give a
very
nod.
tasty.
They're meant to provide something of excitement in your food, as well as a component for Dragon's Breath potions. And he will look to Thomas. How have you been?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
How is the life on the ship doing for you?
You know, ruffians, but it's nice.
So the man turns his back to you, so if you wanted to pilfer anything, now would be the best time to it. He's now paying attention to Thomas. He says, I scryed in my crystal ball the other day about you, and I saw coins. Not just like regular coins, like lots of coins. Something good happened.
Oh, of course, I got paid.
He kind of stops. My skills are rudimentary at best, but I believe that you got paid well.
Indeed, I did.
Good. So I can expect a full payment this time instead of half payments.
Indeed.
Good. He smiles, and he'll pat you on the shoulder. I'm glad to see you again, friend.
I am too.
Other than a collection of these things, of the feathers... Oh, okay. It's that time again?
Yes,
He'll
and
give a
it's,
nod.
it's the night.
Can I interest you in anything else? I have dandelion honey that we just got yesterday. Some of it still has the honeycomb in it. He kind of looks around for a minute or two. Ooh, white elk antlers. And he pulls out some antler bits.
I have a question out of character. How does this universe do... I mean, I feel like that would be alchemy. I don't think he does have alchemy.
No,
for making potions.
That's alchemy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I know, I think in like... I think in like Pathfinder, you can't be both. You have to be one or the other. You have to be either a spellcaster or like an herbalist or whatever they're called. Not an alchemist, but it's something else. And I was curious if Thomas even had the ability to sit down with like a cauldron and make potions.
Yes, you do. In Pathfinder, the answer is yes. You can do both. In this one as well, you can be a wizard and still know how to make potions. It's a skill.
That is something I do want
to. A skill that uses non-magic, and then you can enhance your potion making with magic.
Yeah, that is one thing I do want to enhance later on down the road if I don't die. That would be nice.
Okay.
But
so you purchase your list of ingredients. Is there
Yes.
anything else you're interested in finding at McCain's? He doesn't normally have magic items.
Yeah.
And if he does get them, he immediately gets rid of them, sells them to somebody.
Yeah, I would imagine they would be bought out immediately. Yeah, Thomas, that's about it. That's all he really needs. So
I'm gonna pick up some of those fire berries.
Okay. He will get you out a small brown envelope to put them in. You grab how many?
Like a handful.
A handful. Okay, he gets
Yeah.
a bigger brown envelope to put them in. And looking at him, he says, 1 whole copper, please.
Ooh. I will pull out 1 whole copper.
He takes it because they're small berries. A handful is a decent amount. Put it in
Yeah.
that's a lot of money because he gets a lot of berries. So all right, he gives them to you.
Yeah. And to me, it's an exotic ingredient, so I don't know if it
this
is
is
or
going
not.
to
But
totally fuck with Larry.
I
That's all I can see, guys. That's all I can
know.
see.
That was the first thing that I thought. Even when I was like, you could prank the crew, I was about to be like, you can prank Larry. Then I stopped myself and said the crew.
It doesn't matter. Ace had said it. We were all thinking it. I can only think of. I can't even think of the band's name. We didn't start the fire. That's gonna be Larry sitting on the toilet after that. I'm dying. I'm dying.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, do we really need to give him any more excuses to get out of work, though? Like,
No.
Very true. Might get him more lashes.
oh gosh.
Thank
That
you,
poor
Ace.
boy.
I figured it'd come back to me, but if I said it and didn't know, somebody else would bring into it. All right.
How much was my stuff altogether?
Say it again.
How much was all my stuff?
Say the
'Cause
list
I had-
again.
A bundle of thistles, jar of honey, a bundle of lavender, bundle of crow feathers, a jar of ash from an old pine, and a bundle of white lilies, and a couple of chalk.
$16 copper pieces.
Okay. How do I minus that from all my silver and stuff?
If you're not carrying copper on you, you can't. You just end up giving him 2 copper pieces and hope he can make change.
Oh, you mean... Okay, because I don't have any copper on me.
All you have is silver, right? Exactly. And
Silver and gold. I think I'm gonna give him a whole silver and
so 2 whole
not
silver.
even
You're gonna give him 2 whole silver.
2 whole silver.
2 whole
Okay.
silver.
I'm gonna give him 2
Thank
silver
you.
and if he gives me change, Thomas just kind of waves down and he goes, "Keep it." After all,
Thanks you
I've
again. He will give you a hug. He'll go over and pull out 2 of his pieces of it's wood that has hardened honey on the outside of them.
Mm.
He hands them. They're wrapped in like wax brown paper, and it's just like a lollipop. It's just
Oh, nice.
honey that's been set on it long enough to crystallize up.
Nice. Thomas will thank him as he normally does.
It's the kind of thing you stick in your tea.
Mm.
All right, Bam. Let's get to this ritual.
Yeah. Do you want to take a break soon?
Yeah, we can take a break. It's 7:00. I was about to
Yeah.
say something around those lines. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. Thomas is going to do their ritual, and then these guys are going to get a chance to do some wandering around more of the town. This is about the R&R session. It's about exploring the city of Kadaf, and we are Original Box Set. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll use this one. Thank you, Quests and Chaos, for the follow. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
And we are back. Just a little delayed because telling time is a hard thing for me to do. Why are you doing this to me?
We were trying to tell by the sun, but we're inside.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do that. And if you live in Michigan, it's cloudy AF outside. So,
I just thought you were about to say cloudy AM. I was just like, that's how you guys tell time?
nope.
Well, is it cloudy PM anytime soon?
I just saw a post on Facebook that was like 6 a.m. winter, 8 a.m. spring. Like, which that person is not wrong. Like, could literally be sunny and summer out, and then like in the afternoon it'll start snowing.
Wow. Well, in Florida here, it'll be cold in the morning, hot by the time.
Cold.
Yeah, cold, like in the 50s.
Oh,
Or
boo-hoo!
You're not talking about this time of year, right?
No. I'm talking
Okay.
like back in like January and February. It'd be
Yeah.
like in the 50s and 60s in the morning, and then by the time it gets to about 9 o'clock in the morning, it's jumped up into the 70s. Lunch is close to the 80s, and then it starts going back down. And so you start the morning with pants and a jacket,
Yeah.
and then you switch to shorts and a tank top or a shirt, and you go back.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, when Michigan's not having a fucking meltdown, it basically goes pretty much the same. In the morning, it hits about it gets cold. Even in the summertime, it's cold. Like you do have to bring a jacket, and if you're wearing shorts, it's like, oh, that's chilly. Sometimes if it's like gonna be a hot day, it's like a good good warm morning, and you could be fine. But then in the afternoon or noontime, it's gonna be blistering hot. So
I know so much about Michigan because of Paige here. Never been there myself, but I'm pretty sure I could survive.
I'm a pure Michigander.
I'm a Florida man.
Florida man.
Everything they say on the internet is true.
I need this open.
And when
for
the
description.
world gets warmer and Florida floods, we're coming to live with you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna spread like rats. Watch out.
That's fine.
No, you say it's fine.
Oh, I know it's not fine for like crazy Florida men, but
We're all that way. I threw
But
an
I
alligator
trust-
into my neighbor's house yesterday because he pissed me off. That's what you do. That's how we tell you.
That's the beauty of the mixing pot.
Yeah, no, that should be the motivation, like Ace had says, to solve global warming ASAP, because Florida men will be everywhere.
And
Yeah.
remember, we bring your elderly back to you.
Yeah.
Because they're all down here right now fucking up the vote count.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, they get down here, they can't count. Somehow when you get that old, it's 1, 3, 4, 2, and it's like, how the hell?
Yeah.
Hanging chads, man.
That's the cutest thing ever, Radio. Let's face it, Michigan could use a few walnuts in its brownie mix. I fucking love that. That's so cute.
Is Michigan known for like nutless brownies?
I have no idea. I
You
just
guys
like
are
it.
nutless.
Nutless. I mean, I don't know.
That's terrible.
Michigan to me, we have a lot of, at least in this area, we have a lot of idiots. But like, that's just on the road. Like, I don't know. I'm a very antisocial person, so I don't really talk to a lot of strangers. But all I know is that in the winter it becomes Skyrim, and we're all hobbits up here. So that's pretty much it.
Well,
It's pretty much a Hobbiton, but you know, not so.
we will segue from the discussion of Michigan back into the Shattered Isles.
Yeah, don't talk to strangers. That's a good point. Yeah, don't talk to strangers, guys.
So, Mark Kane is finished with your transaction. Like I said, he gives you a little sweet treat to head out, and you guys step back out into the night air of the Silver Flounder Circus.
Nice. Thomas turns to Kodrog and says, "Oh, I have one more stop to take, and that's to get my jacket fitted with armor. Do you have anywhere you need to go here?"
No. I'm just here for the experience right now.
Well, I'm sure you'll see a lot of things. You should see this place during a festival. It's insane.
Well, I'm really just waiting for the spooky part to show up.
It'll be later. I just need to stop by and get my jacket fitted, and then we can do it.
Ironically, you find a leather shop called Tanner Shop.
Oh, sweet.
The gentleman on the inside introduces himself as Tanner, the leather worker.
did you want this job, or was it a coincidence?
I was born a tanner.
Mm.
My family runs a tanning business outside of town. That's why we have the name Tanner. I'm a tanner by birth and trade. How can I help you?
Well, I need my jacket fitted with armor, and since I don't want to go out and buy a new jacket and take hours looking at the designs, it would be nice if you could layer it with armor.
Kind of looks your jacket over for a minute. You may put leather on it?
Inside it, or anywhere, yes.
Kind of
Should
looks.
get iron plates.
You want me to put leather on the inside of it?
Sure, yes. If that will protect me from, say, a dagger in my chest.
Gamson would protect you more than putting leather on the inside of it. You I don't want to seem rude, but do you know what you're doing?
No. Clearly.
Leather is good for saddles. Yeah, Kodrog, you're watching this entire little escapade thinking to yourself, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, you have a good knowledge of armor, right? Your character's trained in the military.
Oh, yeah.
But leather armor making. Go ahead.
There's this clear difference between welcome to the magic shop, where Thomas can go, I know what that is. That's used for potions and whatnot. And then to armor, where he's like, like
just fix it, man. He's like, that's not how this works. You got a pretty coat there, but if I start strapping leather onto it, it's not going to do what you think it's going to do. Leather isn't going to stop a blade. He picks the dagger up and shoves it through a thick piece of leather nearby. Just stabs into it. You need something more protective.
Where should I head then?
Well, I can get you a Gamson and we can put some leather on it. A Gamson's a quilted coat.
Okay.
You got a nice fine wool coat here. It's meant to keep you warm, and it can kind of stop a knife. And Gamson's, and he will fish around for a while and pull out, I would describe it as a comforter level thickness coat.
Oof.
And he's like, this will definitely stop a knife. So
how poofy is it?
Not poofy. Not poofy
Okay.
comforter, but it's definitely like a comforter. It's thick. It's got a lot of wool and fabric to it. And he's like, I'm not going to stab it to show you, but this will.
Yeah.
And I can take, and I do take, I take Gamsons and I put leather on them. And the leather that I use is boiled. And it'll stop a knife. He picks up a piece of leather that doesn't seem to be moving too easily, like not floppy at all. And he taps it on something and it sounds like a hard plate. And then he stabs it with a knife and see, boiled leather, that'll stop a knife. It's like a plate of leather. Just putting leather on a jacket, that's silliness. No, he won't say that. He'd be like, that's what clowns do.
Well, a lot of people call Marseillans clowns, so I take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Can you do this quiltedness to this jacket?
I can point you the direction of somebody who can make a Gamson that is going to fit into that. Yes?
That'll be wonderful.
All right. Can I make another suggestion?
Of course.
Since you're looking to protect yourself, you might want to think about a chain shirt or a chain mesh to go on the inside. It's going to weigh a lot, but that'll stop a knife. And he looks over to Kodrog and he gives a nod because he knows you're wearing armor.
Yeah.
You can see it. Mesh is more knife proof, not arrow proof, but knife proof. You want arrow proof, that's going to be, and he taps his hard piece of boiled leather, that's going to be something like this.
Great. What direction should you point me in then?
He walks you outside and points down the street. Knight's Tailor, end of the street. Taylor runs it. He's a tailor. Born a tailor.
Is he your cousin?
No.
Well, thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Don't get too many people wandering around here asking silly questions. It's too late at night to be giving silly answers. That sounded like something fell over in the back. I gotta go check on it.
No, it's probably on my side.
No, that's what he said. I'm just rolling with it. I'm just rolling with it.
I was gonna say, my fucking neighbors are doing fireworks, so.
Yay, fireworks for Father's Day.
It's fucking June. Like, it's 7:30, which is fine. That's fine. But if it's the neighbors that I think it's the neighbors, they're gonna go until like 1 a.m. I know tomorrow's Sunday, but fucking still. Plus, I have pets, and all my pets freak out. Like, my dog, can you see him? He's laying down. He's in my room because he feels safer with me. But he's also somewhat deaf, so he's doing fine. If he was actually freaking out, he'd be under my desk. Great. Thomas is going to give Tanner a wave and then walk towards this night tailor.
All right, Nightly Tailor. Not Night Tailor. It is night, and he is a
Tailor.
tailor, but he works at Nightly Tailor.
I thought it was like nightly, like night. Okay, moving on.
It's with a K. Knickly. All right. Yeah, the dude is. His shop is open. He's measuring another gentleman for a coat. Dude has a hat bigger than Thomas's on, with like a quill and everything into it. Everything is very, very purple.
It's not the princess's jester, is it?
You don't know who this gentleman is,
Okay.
but he definitely is wearing a very purpley jacket, and he's got a purpley coat hat on.
Does it look wizardly?
No,
Oh.
Just fancy.
I assumed it was a pointy purple hat. That sounds pretty wizardly to me.
yeah, it's like a purple top hatish thing with feathers in it. The tailor, named Taylor, will tell you, give him a moment, he'll be with you. He finished with the gentleman, who will smile and introduce himself to you. Lord Stren just popped in to get himself a new coat measured, because you never know when you're going to need one. And he's talking to you guys.
Oh. I usually know I need a new coat when my old one has too many holes.
I just decide when I want to buy myself a new coat. I don't wear them enough to get holes in them.
Mine are usually from getting stabbed.
Oh.
Or people trying to accomplish the task.
You can see he's not smiling anymore.
Oh, but I am.
Thomas
This one's from a crossbow bolt, and I point to the one right in the middle of it.
Kodrog is like all happy, and then this guy goes kind of straight faced. Thomas just grins, and he looks at Tom like Kodrog.
The tailor asks, as he's measuring this gentleman and making some pins and chalk marks, who am I helping? As he makes a gesture to the two of you.
You with me.
How can I help you? As he continues to pen and chalk and begin running a needle of thread through the guy's cuff.
Well, I needed to get this jacket fitted with armor. Tanner showed me here, and since I really don't know anything about armor, I was hoping you could help me out with it.
Oh, he's talking about a quilted jacket.
Yes.
Ah, of course. I have plenty of them. They're in the back area over there on a rack. There are a variety of them. Are you planning to wear it with anything else? Maybe a chain mail or suit of plate or something? Go back there and take a look around. I have some sets of mail back there. You can try them all on and see what works best for you.
Well, that's fantastic and all, but can you fit a jacket that's already made? I'm looking just for the jacket that I'm currently wearing.
Go to the back, find one that fits well, and then we'll go from there.
Great. Okay, thank you. And
He gives a nod, he goes back to what he's doing.
Yeah, he'll walk to the back then.
They are, some of them are like a dim yellow or dirty yellow. Some are green. Some are nice, a vibrant blue. No reds or purples. A couple of white ones, but they don't fit so well. The one that you find fits real snugly is a black one, and it's silk on the outside and the inside. A lot of these guys are silk, without question. You know, silk lining and quilted and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he, just for reference, Kodrog, he doesn't shoo you out. He lets you continue antagonizing his customer as he works. Every once in a while, chiming in to kind of keep the momentum. Like, oh, so you've been in battle. How many men have you killed? And then he goes back to sewing and marking. As you talk about death on the battlefield or murdering people for the purpose of the king or whatever else you decide to throw in there. This guy seems to enjoy the tension that it brings to his customer. Finally, at some point, Thomas, are you looking for one that fit? Because he's like, go back and find that one that fits. Do you want one that's snug? Do you want one that's loose? Do you want to, kind of give me a description of what you're thinking? I mean, just fitting into your jacket is one thing.
Yeah, I would want something that's kind of snug. Form-fitting would be nice.
That would be the black one.
Yeah, and I would imagine, like, Thomas is looking at all these colors and go, none of these work with me. Like, currently his jacket, I would imagine it's like a deep purple. Mm-hmm. And it has, like, the inside is, like, aligned with red silk. And it is like true Marseillan work. So like he's looking at this, and then when he finds out the black one fits him, he's kind of disappointed because it's black and he likes color in his variety. But I mean, I would imagine it looks so good on him because black looks good on everyone. But I would imagine he's leaning more towards that.
Okay. Otherwise, there's at least a white one that's a little big for you that fits and gives you room to move it.
Well, obviously anyone is going to get a jacket that you can do this to. Like,
right.
You can move around and you're not going to rip it. So I would hope that the black is like that.
Yeah,
like
you can move in the black one. It doesn't have the arms, there's nothing here. So it's a vestment that has an attachment to sleeves, and this is open so that you can freely move about.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Because that you're going to have more armor and whatnot that's supposed to layer over you for that purpose. Also it has this cool little heart over your heart on it. So it's got a little heart. It's adorable, right? After you get
great. So when the enemies fight me, they know where to throw the dagger.
Exactly.
Target.
You come out. The man in the purple is gone. Now Kodrog and the tailor are sitting drinking. Kodrog has a drink as well as this guy, and they're having quick chuckles. Turns out this dude is a swordsman. He quit doing his swordy stuff after he got stabbed in the hand and paralysis kicked in. But so now he sews and makes plenty of money. But yeah, he used to be a sword for hire. And so you guys are swapping stories. He wants to, like, hey, you want to come out in the back and I'll show you my old suit of armor, my swords I used to fight with, kind of scenario. So you come in to find Kodrog and him sitting back, drinking and smoking.
Yeah, and I've pulled out since he offered to show me his swords. I pulled out my one of my daggers. It was like, oh yeah, can't tell you how many chests this have been stuck in, but keep it nice and sharp. Here, check it out. I left my good maul axe back on the ship though. Don't carry that around the city. It's too threatening.
Yeah, I think a maul axe would be threatening.
Yeah.
It would be. All right.
Yeah, so you're showing him your weapons and whatnot, and Thomas is just looking between the two.
Thomas comes out wearing a fencer's gamson.
Oh.
It's got the heart mark on it and everything. It's well fit. It's good. It's going, a weakened dagger stab. This thing's going to kind of stop it. a full thrust onto somebody. You can tell it's silk on the outside, silk on the inside. It's definitely going to slow a weapon down. On the jacket, that's definitely going to pile on top of that. That's going to be a nice little layering effect.
Yeah, and because it's silk on the outside too, it won't bind on the fabric of his jacket.
That's
right?
correct.
Excellent. It looks like a good choice.
The man gives
Yeah,
a nod. A fencer's gamson, perfectly fine. It's meant for movement. It's meant to hold you tight, and it's mostly meant to stop slashing and stabbing. It won't help you any if someone decides to club you. So keep that in mind.
Well, I think it's perfect. It looks great and it feels fantastic. And if it's going to do all that, I'm down for it.
He gives a nod. That's 20 silver pieces.
Jesus.
Well, it's silk. If it
Yeah,
was
no,
not silk, I would be charging maybe 20 copper pieces for
No,
something
Thomas
of fabric.
understands. He'll give him 20 silver.
If you do, and he kind of makes a wave to Kodrog, and he stands up, walks over, he says, if you do know you're about to get into a terrible fight, make sure, and he kind of brushes the coat, he kind of feels it out, and kind of starts tucking it in different places to make sure and he's tying the side bits, that you get it wet. Silk, and he's kind of rubbing it, for some reason gets stronger when it's wet.
Oh, yeah.
I have found that in fights, I last longer after I've started to sweat. And he gives a smile.
It's good to know. Good thing I can pull water out of thin air. And he just gives him a smile.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, okay.
And he'll hand him the 20 silver.
He will pocket it, thank you, and usher you guys back out of the streets of the Silver Flounder. Yeah, wizards don't sweat. They glow.
Nice.
All right. Time for some witchery.
Witchery! I would do this on the ship, but the thing is we can't be on the ship. I need to be near water. And Thomas will say that to Kodrog. I need to be near water, even if it's just a basin.
Oh, well, I mean, we could, find a room for the night. I'm sure there's a wash basin in those. Usually is.
As long as I can take it out and it can be on the ground, that's fine.
Oh, you need water outside?
I need to be looking into it.
Well, there's plenty of coastline.
As long as the wind doesn't mess up with the ash, that should be fine.
What about finding a hotel that has a pool?
Yeah.
And doing it in the open?
If you're going to do it on the coastline, that's in the open.
Yeah, that's another thing. Thomas isn't comfortable with just doing magic in the open.
Of course. It's completely understandable. People are easily to go, ah!
Yeah. We can find spa day. We can find
What about a hotel with a bathtub?
Yeah, that's another thing. We could do something like that. I could even ask for like a bowl of some sort, even if it's that small. I just need to see my reflection. Of water.
Okay, so the floor counts as the ground case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also need. Thomas is gonna say this. I also need the moonlight shining in. So if we can get a hotel with like a balcony, that would be great as well. Or windows. Lots of windows are opening. Like I said, I do it on the ship because it's just the perfect location. But since we can't be on the ship,
well, you're the expert on what you need, so I guess I'll defer to you in the location choosing.
So you are now hunting a hotel room that has a bathtub. Or a wash
and a
basin.
skylight.
A wash basin and a skylight. Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna let Paige roll a d6 and add 1 to it. That's the number of hotels you have to go to before you finally find one that's like, yes, we do have a skylight or at least a balcony and a basin that you can wash up in.
What am I adding in?
1. A d6 plus 1.
7.
Wow. So the first one's like, no, I can't help you. The second one says, we don't have anything like that. We can give you a bucket. You can go outside. But we're not going to put water in it because, this is drinking water. We got piss water. You can use that. And then it goes from one to the other. One gentleman's just like, you want to get a room with him that has a private moonlit skylight and have a bath.
Is that a problem?
No, I'm not going to. No, take yourselves elsewhere. Dwarves and humans together like that. That's terrible. That's the kind of person that you're in. So 7 hotels later, when, it is a black stone building farther away from, of course, the city center. You've gone farther away from the bay, and you find you were directed here by one of the other kinder gentlemen who's like, no, we don't have room. Go this way. It's on the edge of the street. It's second floor is... radio is actually right on that one.
Yeah, I like just was like, oh my god, you're right. Like
the second story is white. When you get there, you knock on the door. It takes a moment before a light gets lit because now it's like 9 o'clock at night, maybe 9:30ish, and the older woman answers the door. You tell her what you're looking for, and she's, of course, very, very helpful. She tells you can come in. She only has one room, and it's the guest house out back of the vista. And so it is a house on the corner lot with a wall going around it. There's an old barn, and then there's the servants' quarters. And there's the bathtub is in the servants' quarters. You two can use that. She's going to charge you, though. It's a steep 5 copper a night.
That's fine.
There's no breakfast, no turn-down services or anything. But you get that house, 5 copper a night for as long as you need it. And you pay in the morning, every morning. If you skip, she'll let her dogs out on you.
It's expensive, but I respect her.
She has a ragged pond in her the grounds, if you want to use that. And the only person there is her. And if you come knocking up the door, she's going to let her dogs out on you.
So don't disturb her in the middle of the night.
Don't disturb her in the middle of the night.
Check.
Don't try to get out of not paying your bill. That's about it.
Hold on, I'll be right back. If you can see the smiley boy behind me, he wants out.
Okay.
Oh man, so yeah, I guess I'll lead the way out to the guest house that we now have for the night.
Okay. The woman is not kidding when she says dogs. These are not tiny dogs either. They look like well-respectable guard dogs that could easily throat you if they get a chance to. They sit, all 4 of them, in the window, patiently watching you guys as you walk by. They have no happy, jolly, doggy face except for the last one. The 3 in the beginning have like the stern, I'm going to kill you look, while the 4th one wants to be petted with its waggly tongue and whatnot.
The others are just out for blood, and the 4th is just like, humans? People? Yes! Like...
Yep. Somebody failed their training course. Can you pick which one it was?
But yeah, Thomas, he just basically says, yeah, I'll be here for the night. I can find another hotel in the morning or whatever, but
please stay.
I need that room, that's all.
Of course, you two need a room. I got it. You do whatever you want. I'm just letting you know. Dogs.
I understand. And he'll head over to that house then, I guess.
You and Kodrog both head over to the house. The lady will give you a lantern to walk through the backyard. Nobody has tended to this place in at least a decade. Everything's falling apart, including the house. You get back there, the house doesn't look bad, but the yard is terrible. It's overgrown. The pond looks scummy, and frogs leap in and out. You get to the house, you open it up, you got a key, you walk in, and it's not so bad. There's some leaves on the floor. It seems rather cozy. There's a pile of wood right in the doorway. You can light the fireplace. You guys wander around. It's only a 1-story. You find that it has a bathroom, goes out to the street, and then there's a tub as well. Plenty of open windows, and with Kodrog's help, you imagine you can drag the basin, the rather large basin, to the front area of the house where the windows are.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can be your muscle.
Thank you.
All right. What happens next, Paige?
Oh boy! So after as Kodrog is dragging this basin to the front of the thing or lifting it or whatever, Thomas is already working. He's on his knees and he's making a circle first around him with chalk, and then with the ash that he bought, he starts to make a pattern from where he was in the center and out. It shapes into almost a blooming flower, but straight lines, come off of it. And it almost looks like a compass, and it's supposed to represent, basically, directions. North. Never eat soggy waffles type of thing. And in the corners of these points, so basically like this, and then in the corners, there's individual symbols. One symbol is a star, one symbol is just a circle with it looks like a bullseye. The other circle is like a half triangle, but the bottom triangle part is cut out and it looks like there's another triangle that's supposed to fit in there. And the other end is all the moon phases in a circle. And Thomas walks over it. He grabs, I don't know, basically something metal. Is there like a bucket here or?
Sure. Ladle, pots.
Something like, a pot would be great. He basically grabs a pot and you see him starting to throw, he first puts in the honey and then he puts in the thistles and the lavender and the white lilies, and he snaps his finger and he starts a fire within them, and they start bubbling and boiling. And at the end, he puts in the crow feathers one by one. And as he's doing this, he's muttering a chant under his breath, and he sits in the center of this ash circle. And as he's as the pot is burning and bubbling, and it gives off this sweet yet odd scent because of not only the ash is pine, so it gives off that nice scent, but inside you have all of these sweet stuff like lavender and honey and lilies and whatever. The thing that throws it off is the crow feathers, and it's kind of a weird scent. But as this is burning and as he's chanting, he starts putting ash that is like dipped in water to make a paint on his face, and he starts drawing out this like pattern that starts from his forehead, goes down to his chin, and goes across like his cheeks and stuff. It makes him look very warrior-like. And as he's doing this, he's moving around the smoke with his hands from the pot. And as like the water comes closer to him because he needs it in front of him, he kind of gives Kodrog a nod. And in the reflection, he kind of has to wait for the moon to shine onto the water. And as it happens, he can see his reflection in the water. And it takes about a couple of seconds. But as you see his reflection in the water, these red symbols start appearing in the water on his reflection on Thomas's skin. And Thomas just, as he looks at this, you can just see his face just go completely depressed. And then as the moon goes past him, the symbols disappear and the ritual is basically over. Oh yeah, he also has blood. I forgot about that. So he has, so there's droplets of blood in the water. But yeah, the moon passes over, the blood settles down at the bottom of the water, and the fire starts burning out and the smoke vanishes. And Thomas just kind of sits there for a moment looking in the water.
Did you explain at all what this was for before we... Okay, good. I wouldn't have asked either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, stay back a little bit. I don't usually see Thomas doing
Covered in
crazy ritual magic.
wounds.
Crazy ritual magic.
Yeah, I'm gonna loiter for a little bit and wait for Thomas to, I don't know, start being Thomas again.
Yeah. Basically at the end when the fire dies down and he takes a moment to collect himself, he stands up, brushes the ash off his pants, and starts cleaning up. Basically.
It's quiet in the house. All that can be heard is the activities, no words being said. Outside, it's quiet as well. It's late.
So, how do you know if it worked?
Well, it did. It's like a It's like checking on something. This ritual is only to see if something is still there.
All right, and is it good if it's there or good if it's gone?
Would be great if it's gone, but it's still there. Though it's fading, it's just taking forever.
How much does Kodrog feel like he wants to dig into this one?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Kodrog does not have a lot of magical experience. I think that Thomas is the only real magician that Kodrog has spent a lot of time with. I don't know. He's not a deep digger
Could always
when it comes
ask.
to stuff like magic.
You are close friends. He's not afraid to tell anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna like keep getting my sleeping area together and like fluff some pillows and try to think of like a good way to ask, what the hell have you got inside of you, buddy?
maybe lead in with the, so is everything okay?
Yeah. It's like
I don't have to kill you in the middle of the night, do I?
Yeah.
Because
yeah, I'll like finish fluffing a pillow and kind of look over my shoulder at Thomas and say, so is there anything that I should worry about?
Not if you fall in love with me. You're fine.
Wait, I should worry if I do or worry if I don't?
You should worry if you do. It's,
I'll start making like googly eyes at him. Be like, ooh, Thomas, I don't know. I think I'm in danger.
Yeah, Thomas gives like a half chuckle. And he basically just goes, it's called the divergent charm. As much as a charm is, and as much as it is a charming spell, it's a curse. So if basically the curse would affect the next love in my life. It would cause a shadow of misfortune and to follow the next man that ever courted with me.
Well, how do we lift this curse, Thomas?
It's difficult and painful. The first time that I've done a ritual to get rid of it, to help destroy it, was when I met the druids. And that was years ago at this point. They did what they could, but there really isn't not that I know of, a way to break a curse. I know that there are wizards that that's their job. They break curses. They they basically trade. So you give them something, and they take the curse and they put it on themselves, and that's their life. That's how they live. There's other mages that basically direct the curse onto someone else, and basically does it that way. There's very rare cases of just getting rid of a curse. Once it's usually on there, it's like a tattoo or a brand. It's in the person's blood. It's in their skin. There's other reports of basically killing the person who casted the spell, but as much as I hate the person who did it, I can't bring myself to do that.
Well, it sounds to me like we just have to find the loophole. You know, maybe you just have to fall in love with someone whose misfortune you don't mind.
Yeah. Well.
And I'm gonna start pouring rum out of my flask into a couple of drinking vessels I've cleaned out.
Cool.
Wipe the dust out of.
All right. And it is dusty in this tiny hut on the far edge of town. Lighting the fireplace, getting a bed made up in the front room, because there's only one bedroom to this place. I'm assuming you're going to let Thomas take the real bed, and you're just going to crash in the room.
Yeah.
The evening has come to a somber bit of an end, although there's a lighthearted kind of covering to it. You can definitely feel that whatever Thomas is going through, though you find it humorous or just a little bit whimsical, it's not as serious as a knife wound in your mind, maybe. Thomas seems to take it like a knife wound.
Yeah, it's definitely just because I don't understand it doesn't mean I don't know it's not serious.
Exactly.
So yeah. I'm trying to make light of it.
Exactly. Thomas can explain further. Yeah. As they're getting ready, I guess, for the night, Thomas kind of adjusts a bit, and he kind of looks at Kodrak and he goes, "Clearly you don't know anything about spells or curses, do you?"
No, yeah, he answers with a hearty belly laugh.
It's a how do I put this for you? It's like an aftershock. The curse I have isn't the one that was given to me. It was one that was a failsafe of some sort. The first one was basically to persuade my mind to court women and not men. And it almost cut off a point of an emotion, almost. And whenever I would be near a person that I fancied or anything of that nature, the curse would physically harm me by making lacerations across my body. So I stayed away from things like that. When I found the druids, they did their best to destroy it, and they did, but the person who put that original curse on me put a failsafe, knowing that I would be able to break it, but have a aftermath of it. So that's what causes the misfortune.
Well, if you ever change your mind about wanting whoever cursed you dead, I know some people. I hand you the second rum that I poured.
Yeah, he happily takes it.
Yeah. Well, cheers to curse breaking.
He lifts the mug, and he takes a sip.
Wouldn't that be fancy? Easy as that. Just get rid of the curse maker. Rid the whole problem. All gone away. That probably plays in Thomas's mind a lot right now. Is that an easier answer than what you've been putting up with? Could it possibly solve everything? You know better. You know the truth. And you're not happy with the truth. But knowing that Kodrog's willing to hire people or find people or maybe do it himself, that's kind of nice. And part of you fears liking Kodrog to a sense of a brotherly love, because you don't want misfortune going to him as well.
Yeah.
You know how sure the curse can be twisted. The magic could have changed in any way, or there could be a dumb luck fae digging around here locally who's going to mess with the curse that binds you, so best to play it safe and just be good friends with Kodrog, right? But that doesn't mean you still don't fancy the idea of this dwarf taking care of your problem. Would be nice.
Would be.
Plus, the rum's delicious, and that probably will help lead to a wonderful night's rest. The first night's rest. By the way, sleeping in this gamson is really comfortable. It's like a nice hug around you. Kind of don't want to take it off. You know what I'm saying? But the night does come. You guys get a chance to snuggle in. There's more than enough materials. Thomas, you get to sleep in a real bed. Kodrog, you get to sleep on the floor in at least some level of style. It's much better than the ship rocking all over the place. That doesn't mean you guys don't roll around in the bed all night, longing for that rocking motion of the Amber Falls.
Yeah.
And we're going to come to the close for our game today. I appreciate everybody who has joined us. We've had a revelation in Thomas's character. The group has had their first chance at some R&R and to get out and explore the city of Kadaf. We've learned that Thomas, although a great spellcaster, carries with him a dark shadow. One that we, as the audience, have already foreseen how this can lead to a bad situation. If you have been watching the previous episodes, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, definitely go back and watch some of them. You'll find out about Thomas's current love interest. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, real quick, as we get to a closing, I would like to give the floor to Paige so that she can do some saying and whatnot.
Oh,
and,
shit.
You want to go first? I can go first.
Sure, no, that's fine. I got it. Hello. My name's Paige. As you have seen, I have played Thomas. I'm doing Fluffer right now. I am normally at this location of Shadowcasters Network. I am usually on Join the Anarchy, which is every other Monday. However, there is a streamathon coming up this weekend, and I'm in it. So now that I'm not looking at things and typing, this Saturday, I am playing... Is it Saturday? It's Saturday. This Saturday, I'm playing Clue at midnight, I believe. And then I'm playing Jackbox with Oz at 2:30 a.m. And then at 4:30, I'm playing Left 4 Dead 2 with Bobby, which is going to be really fun. And that's the one I'm most excited for because he's never played Left 4 Dead. And this is the first time I'm going to be playing Left 4 Dead on my computer with somebody. So you get to see my mistakes because I'm a console player. And I tried hooking up my controller with Left 4 Dead and it did not work. So that's something. I also do Shadowcasters. And I'm doing Join the Anarchy on Sunday, though it's not Join the Anarchy, it's going to be something completely different. Because we have guests, and since we're in Ares headquarters currently in our actual game, we can't really, do that. And I'm sure if it was just the team, we would most likely do that. But since it's the streamathon and most people aren't gonna see it, we kind of have to. Yeah, you get it. But Saturdays I do Shattered Isles, and then Fridays, every other Friday, I normally do Friday Night Frights, which starts at 10 p.m., goes until 1 a.m., and it's a... Max runs it. Mm-hmm. It's on original box set. It's a thriller mystery, at least that's how I call it.
Yes.
It's a little more horror than thriller, but it is a thriller mystery. And I play Agent Jones, Agent Elliot Jones, who is part of the FBI and is investigating multiple murders of a serial killer and trying to put two and two together and see who is behind the murders. And it's getting a lot more supernatural than human.
Oh
And
yeah, last night in the show from last night, and you can go watch the videos.
Yeah.
Paige ran across some creepy ass shit in the woods, and some dude got crushed by it, and then Paige's Agent Jones's car almost got ripped to pieces. And
I highly recommend if you can't catch the show, I highly recommend looking at the archives and watching it because one, it's fantastic. Two, it might be a little slow, but that's only because there's so much details that I need to take down that Max needs to spill out, and
it's at a very good pace.
Yeah, and since it's homebrewed and homemade, kind of have to appreciate all the detail that Max went through with all of his characters, because every character needs to know each other. Every area needs to have something connected, and since it's a homebrewed mystery, it's even better, and that's what I love about it. I love the characters, I love the mystery, and we're getting close to the next supposed murder, and we have nothing yet.
Well, you just ran into something rather big, so it's a great possibility. I mean, come on. It's either the creepy priest or the giant flashy weretruck that attacked you last night. By the way, it's not a weretruck. It's still funny that you call it. All right, so I'm going to post some stuff real quick.
But Paige, in real life, I'm an artist. I draw things. I make stuff. I even drew Kodrug and Thomas for this group. I've drawn Agent Jones for Friday Night Frights. You can find them at originalboxset.com because I'm sure they're there. You can even find my Instagram there, and I'm even Instagram and Twitter and Discord where you can contact me and get commissions done. And right now, you can either I have two options. You can either give me the full payment for me, or you could get the discount, and that discount actually goes to my last cat's vet bills, which is very much needed, and it's pretty much half off at that point. It's usually like $60 to $80, and you're going to be paying $42 for a full body ink commission, and it's going to my dear cat Bella, who recently passed away, and we still have to pay for her bills and her urn and everything of that nature, and I want to pay for that because Bella meant a lot to me. So that would mean a lot. If not, thank you for your support. But yeah, that's all I have. That's a lot of spiel, and I think I did it fabulously.
You did. It was great. So I put 3 links in there. That's to our website, to our Twitch channel, and to my wife's Etsy shop. She sells soap. She's at Origins Con. Otherwise, she would be here with us. The Shadowcasters Network, like Paige said, has got a streamathon coming up. Check it out. I want to share. This is a link directly to the artwork that we, as Original Box Set, own. And the first thing that's going to pop up is Paige's art. Of course, there's link to... We purchased 2 art pieces. We plan to purchase more art. It's going to go up there. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Actually, I do want to look at all of that.
Did she not? Oh, man.
Oh, yep. She did change it to remove the underscores.
Then I am still using an old one. Let me fix that.
Yeah, I'll get the new one in there.
Please fix it. That just means I need to fix my... I'll wait till you get the right one. I apologize. Don't use that link. How do I delete that? You can't delete it. Ah, son of...
There's the correct one.
There's the correct one.
Oops.
Yeah, so also on our Twitch channel, you can find things such as Besties versus Beasties with Cassie and Sarah on Mondays, where they play Ark Survival Evolved, one of those. There's words.
Yep.
And yeah, so they try to their baby. So far, like the last 2, they've been successful.
It's scary. I think it's going downhill. I need to do something about it.
Keep it exciting. Kill the baby.
They need to die. They've had death by giant sea monster. They've had death by starvation. They've had death by being exposed to the elements. And just the last 2 shows, they haven't died. They've moved into an incredibly tough territory, but they've been really smart about their actions, and they tamed some rather powerful little critters that have definitely been helping them out. That's not to say they haven't died during the show. It just means they haven't died near the end of the show and lost everything. They've died and just not lost everything. They got really good at this.
Yep.
It's time to turn up the difficulty to 11. John does Civ 6 on Wednesday, where he... I'll let John say it.
Yeah, actually, so I'm going to be changing what I'm going to be Let's Playing.
Really?
Because, we finished our quick religion game last Wednesday.
Awesome.
So I'm going to stream some World of Warships for a few weeks and
Cool.
see if anybody enjoys that. I did pick up Stellaris, though, while it was on sale with all the DLC, so that's in the future. But it's going to be World of Warships for at least a little bit.
Excellent.
Followed by Stellaris. Yep.
Excellent. Fridays we do Friday Night Frights. Paige talked about it, but before Friday Night Frights, we do the Magic Shop on our channel. If you've had a chance to check it out, it's been fun pretty much. This past Friday, though, we were without some people because, one, my daughter's off with her mom. Sarah went off to hang out with her cousin, and Cassie left me to go to Origins. Not like permanent left me, but just left me for the weekend. Here, by myself, all alone. I'm not wearing pants. We did a one-shot game last night using 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. We did some world building. We did some construction. They had a couple encounters. It was rather fun. We got to introduce a new player. His name is Evan, but because we already have an Evan, and we met him at MegaCon wearing a Star-Lord costume, we call him Star-Lord. So please go over, if you're going to watch our channel, and say hi to Star-Lord, because he will be bringing in his character to the Magic Shop game on the next Friday that we play. I say that because I might change my mind and play again when everybody gets back from their going off and doing other things than playing my game. Play my game. Don't go off and do other things. All right, I'm done. All right, we're actually done here for taking over the Shadowcasters network. You guys are wonderful. The Shadowcasters are amazing. Thank you so much, Oz, for giving us that wonderful segue into our show today. Greatly appreciated. You were doing an amazing job. Sorry we had to kind of cut you off there. So the audience, thanks for joining us, and you guys have a wonderful evening. We are Original Box Set, and we are signing off. Bye-bye.
Night, guys.